I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
At the end of my last video, I said I wanted to try something short and simple for the next one. Well then, why not fall back on the good old weapon restricted run? In my time playing Fallout New Vegas, one early game weapon I don't think I've ever used before is the single shotgun, which, if ignoring the DLC packs, is the first shotgun you'd normally come across. It is of course rather standard for a weapon, but can it still pack some heat and be used from start to finish? In other words, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with only the single shotgun? When I began, I already had the image of the thumbnail in mind, so I get ahead by loosely making my guy look like Roddy Piper from the movie They Live. While I don't play with shotguns too much, I have an idea for the build. As for special stats, strength stays at 5, as it is the requirement for the gun, and then most points are thrown into agility. The gun being a single shot means I must reload after every one, so less time reloading the better. Tag skills go as such, with guns, repair, and medicine chosen. I figured since I gotta get rather close to enemies to get the most out of every shot, having more effective healing supplies will offset the damage I'll be taking. Traits are nothing special, I simply take skilled and built to destroy. Single shotguns are rather durable and common, so the offset of the latter trait isn't bad. Once I leave Doc Mitchell's, I begin rummaging through some of the Goodsprings homes, as I remember one of them has my weapon of choice for today. Sure enough, I find one in Trudy and Sunny's home, I believe. It's in poor condition, but that can be helped. Doing the tutorial lets me glimpse what I'm working with, and it's alright. I'll wait until I'm firing at something other than bottles of geckos to really decide how this is gonna turn out. Well, Cobb's head is as squishy as ever, so maybe the rest of his gang will suffice? Yeah, maybe this won't be so bad. 2 shots is enough to take out the gangers, provided I hit them, of course. I'll admit I don't use shotguns much in New Vegas. I figure if I'm using a gun, I use something with long range, and then switch to like a melee weapon up close. What I'm getting at is, I haven't done a proper shotgun build before, so I don't know how easy or hard this will be. Yet. Either way, with Goodsprings saved, I use the character rebuild exploit to get the benefit of skilled again, and decide to throw caution to the wind by putting the gun through a trial by fire. Rather than head to Prim, I sidestep for a moment as I continue to hunt down some powder gangers at the correctional facility. Some of them tend to carry single shotguns, so I can use them to repair my own. Lo and behold, the shotgun tears through the gangers without issue, even in large numbers. I could almost just let the footage speak for itself, with limbs and heads blowing apart as I paint the town red inside. Eddie and his goons can barely dent my metal armor, and can no more than eat shell after shell. To be honest, powder gangers have next to no armor, and that's likely why I'm tearing through them so effortlessly. Oh well, I was enjoying this power trip too much to think about it at the time. I can only hope the head pops don't get this video age restricted though. On the way out, I add one more body to the area, that being Malcolm who jumped me in the yard. Don't cut that out of context, please. Wanting to keep it going, when I make it to Prim, I go the extra effort to clear out the Bison Steve Hotel entirely of the convicts, not just those around Beagle. They do make for a neat corpse pile, I'll say. Another benefit of clearing the upper floor for me is the plethora of chems located there. It is a very good early on place to stock up for free on Psycho and Med-X. I hit level 4 from the slaughter, and its educated perk look normal. The convict leader does take more punishment thanks to his leather armor, but it's not enough to stop a crit to the noggin. I do have some strategy to focus on one enemy. If I can stagger them, I'm able to reload before they stop staggering, and can fire again to get the kill. There can be a problem if they move around too much. We'll see about that later. With Beagle, then freed, I use a Mentat I found in Bison Steve to make Crimson Sheriff for easy XP, and then make my leave. A few more Jackals face their end of the rest stop, where I then use the workbench to make some extra ammo. The single shotgun takes 12 gauge rounds, so any 12 gauge shells I come across are getting broken down, and then converted to Magna buckshot rounds. This ammo does more damage, and ignores some armor DT. Shame 20 gauge doesn't have as many different ammo types, but I'll make do. I finally meet some worthy foes when I attempt to fight the Raz Scorpions at the Nipton rest stop, as they prove quite resistant to my damage output. Luckily, by staying stripped down, I still have enough speed to stay just out of the range. The gun being two-handed does limit my mobility somewhat, at least compared to, say, the sawn-off shotgun. The merchant nearby is selling some extra ammo, including some pulse rounds, something that will prove quite helpful in the future. For now, though, I stick to the regular and the 3.0 buck rounds, which seem common. They work well at dispatching more jackals, as well as Swanwick and Boxcars, and Thomas, who followed me into the building to jump me about star bottle caps like he's taking up the mantle of Malcolm. I ignore Volpace in town, figured I'd killed him plenty of times in previous runs, and I've decided I'm going to make this a time I'm going to side with the Legion. Haven't yet for a video, and my other ideas I have for New Vegas will have me siding with other particular factions. With that in mind, I avoid the ambush on the road outside of town, only to run into an unexpected foe. One of these bighorners seems to have developed psychokinetic powers of some kind, and is able to knock me down from several feet away while stuck in a rock. I love this game. Nearby, I pick up some Authority sunglasses. Looks the closest to the movie, I guess. I'll wear them at least till I get the armor set I have planned to acquire. Heading further up the road now, various flavors of Raider are felled before Novak. At the ranger station along the way, the guy seems very confused on how to sit down, so just then I decide to end him. Such is his fate regardless, as the Legion will raid the place soon after I leave. In Novak, I steal Ranger Andy's medical book, then hit up Cliff for more ammo, can never have enough, lest I run out mid-fight. Breaking into his closet to grab that gun to sell later gets me to level 6, to which I can take the Confirmed Bachelor perk, with one particular reason later. Right now, though, I use my newfound charm to convince Manny to tell me about Boulder City, and I set up soon after buying some more stims from the dock in town. Some more Vipers show me that armored opponents can't stand up to my damage output, unless I can manage to get headshots, which with VATS is doable but not so much manually aiming. On the way, I get other ideas in my head for other 80s action movie stars to do runs in, like a mysterious Magnum only run is like Dirty Harry. That and a lever action shotgun found in the Boulder City bar puts me in mind of like the T-800 Terminator, complete with shades and leather armor perhaps? Food for thought though, if you'd like to see those ideas, let me know. As for the cons, I just pay off the NCR to let them go, didn't feel like pissing off the NCR yet. Alexander at the 188 trading post is selling a lot of ammo which I snap up, along with some more 12 gauge rounds to break down and convert. Same goes at the GRA. Now, dear viewer, why do I want so much ammo at this particular time and place? Simple really, I tell you. Fact is, so to speak, my shotgun is single, and with a little kick from chems, is ready to mingle with all the casinos. First off is the tops. Wearing only pinstripe suits, each individual chairman goes down after one to two shots to the chest. Like the powder gangers, their pea shooter weaponry bounces right off my metal armor, while my shells find new homes in their torsos. As for the Ben Man himself, I show him how to properly shoot someone in the head by removing it entirely. This gets me to level 8, which means a maxed out gun skill, and the first of 2 essential shotgun perks, Shotgun Surgeon to ignore 10 points of enemy armor. With the chip in hand, I stroll on over to the Lucky 38, load my gun with some pulse slugs, and effortlessly demolish the Securitrons at the penthouse. Best method for dealing with Securitrons is to get right up in their face screens so that they don't use their grenade launchers. Of course, this allows for most of the spread from the gun to make contacts with their hitbox too. And with that, the house has gone bust, and I retrace my steps back to the tops to have Yes Man installed into the Lucky 38. I will not progress with this ending, but progressing to this point will help with something later. For now though, my next stop is the Ultralux to continue my carnage on the strip. The gloves do put up more resistance than the chairman, so for the ones in the lobby, I end up hurting them in circles, taking as many pot shots as I can while continually backpedaling. Mortimer proves that he's become too fat to fit through a space between the railing and a pillar, and promptly gets blasted in the back. I then put on his hat for the hell of it. Marjorie meets the same fate, and I get some extra XP from detouring slightly to rescue Ted and bring him back to Heck. I hit level 10 here, and by extension take the other required perk for a shotgun build, and stay back, which makes it so each pellet from a shell has a chance to knock enemies down. We can see this in action during the next fight. Even if it's not required to interact with the Emeritus for Caesar, I really feel like hitting all of the casinos, and I meant what I said. Given their extra firepower and lots of cover to block my shots, the Purging of Gomorrah takes a bit more time. When and stay back procs, it opens the person up to an easier to land follow-up shot. The single shotgun has good range for this weapon class too, hitting the cashier from outside the lobby.
That's some shit right there. I'm gonna clip you, sorry. That's some shit right there.
Damn right this shit is indeed here, and now I'm sending some figurative shits to hell along with it. With my business now concluded on the strip, I put into motion the plan I had been hinting at before. I'm going to do something I have never, ever done in a New Vegas game, in a challenge run or casually. I'm going to recruit the Enclave remnants to fight for the Legion. This is why I grabbed the confirmed Bachelor perk, so I could sweet talk Arcade into following me. To have access to his companion quest to recruit the Enclave, I need to progress one of the faction questlines to a certain point. Easiest and quickest way to do this is to have Yes Man install the Lucky 38, hence why I did exactly that. Bonus for doing it this way and not having any pops of rep points with the Legion yet, I only need 2 companion points rather than the normal 5 for Arcade to foolishly trust me enough to open up about the remnants. One is accessed by entering Camp McCarran, and then I can quickly gain the second by simply chatting with Dr. Hilderd inside the base. I then spend the next couple minutes traveling the wasteland to find and talk each member and to meet up to discuss intervention. The only one who isn't an easy chore is Doc Henry up in Jacobstown, so we can help out with his research by blasting our way through a few Night Stalkers to retrieve the chewed up stealth boy and finish said research. Once I've assembled a literal Elder Council, I give my suggested to fight for Kaisar, to which Arcade promptly flips his shit and storms off. Cannibal Johnson also refuses to fight for Kaisar, so I'm handed his power armor to wear. Now I'm truly ready to withstand the punishment thrown my way. While on my way to the Boomers next to check them off, I stop by the New Vegas Medical Clinic. I still have just enough caps to afford the subdermal armor implant, doubling down further on becoming an absolute wall capable of soaking up damage. Not that I needed to get through the bombardment. Indestructible senior debris is still the best at avoiding that. Being transported inside, and I immediately open fire on Pearl, breaking her hip with a magnum buck round. Raquel gets laid out next, and I toy with the last Boomer as I am amused by their attempt to beat down my power armor with naught but a lead pipe. Oh, would you look at the time, it's time for Courier 6's favorite pastime. It's War Crimes O'Clock! I thought it'd be funny to go to Loyal's shack and wait from there like a slasher villain, but he didn't show up all night. So I just went into the hangar and finished him off by knocking him to the ground. I didn't care to help the Boomers, and Kaisar won't care that they're dead. After the death of the Boomers, I figure now it's time to head over to the fort and meet the man himself. I take the roads heading east to west, so all I have to contend with along the way are just a few ghouls by sidestepping around Camp Searchlight. First task, after conversing with Kaisar, is to course deal with the vault below the fort, and along the way I install the firing mechanism for the howitzer I got from Nellis. Just like the Securitrons in the Lucky 38, the robotic security of the vault are just a bunch of pushovers, as Protectrons go down with one shot, and the turrets can do nothing more than just tickle my armor. With that said, the bunker goes boom, and I can skip past Kaisar's tasks to deal with the Boomers and the White Gloves. After waiting for day for him to reboot after his seizure, the next objective is to destroy the Brotherhood of Steel. Oh joy! Before heading to Hidden Valley, I stock up some more pulse slug rounds and medical supplies, as I anticipate a war of attrition to fight through the bunker. Some complications arise when I head to the 188 trading post, as the NCR is now hostile to me on sight, and attack me and the disguised Frumhatari meant to tell me about the hidden stash. It does give me a chance to test my weapon on opponents in power armor, and not to mince words, but the NCR heavies do a great job at absorbing my damage. Just look!
Hit her again!
No, I can't.
How much blood can she have left? Go.
Moving right along, time for the basement drilling bucket heads. I take every chem I think will help and immediately open fire once the door opens. Fortunately, that combined with the pulse slugs actually does good damage to their power armor, even without a crit. Their Gauss rifles do decent damage back, so I feel vindicated going out of my way to get the Enclave power armor. The first floor is where it gets tough. While I brushed past Ramos and one other paladin, I didn't pay well enough attention to my health. It took one too many shots to the chest, killing me. Second try and I paid better attention to my health, coupled with the fact that many of their attacks kept crippling my limbs. Those not in power armor though, well, Shotgun Surgeon makes it so what little armor they wear does not protect them. With the hard part over, I move on to the second floor to finish the Brotherhood of Steel off. McNamara is given the Officer Murphy treatment by having his arm blown off. Hardin shows up late to the party after, and falls to 3 shots. The several Gauss rifle shots from the repeated fighting does do a good job at heavily damaging my armor, but luckily I found a fix very soon after. Killing a few more scribes in the nearby rooms reaches me to level 14, and with a maxed out repair skill, I can take the jury rigging perk, allowing me to repair my armor with the Brotherhood's power armor, and apparently sunglasses. If you were wondering about Headscribe Taggart, don't. Now with the Brotherhood buried, Kaiser asked me to be his personal physician and fix his tumor. So I steal the tools, travel back, and do the sensible act of intentionally killing him on the operating bed. Lucius is ready to punch my face in, only for me to calm him with the knowledge that Kaiser is an old bastard and was doomed to die. So to compensate, I opt to make the NCR feel sympathetic for losing a leader by killing theirs. So it's off to the dam to assassinate Kimball. Killing Kimball has many options available to the player and how to go about it. But I decided ahead of time I want this run to be about the single shotgun. So this means I waited in the crowd for Kimball to arrive and simply charged him down as he came down the stairs. In my first attempt, he narrowly got away, with one NCR soldier taking this shot like a hero. I nearly destroyed the vertibird by shooting at it, but I didn't do enough damage before it flew away. Next attempt, and this time I'm the lucky one, as stay back proxies, preventing Kimball's escape, and allowing me to literally shotgun this quest to a successful conclusion. With Kimball's death, the second battle at the dam can commence. Lanius gives me my marching orders of reaching General Oliver, and to do to him what I have done to so many others. I do get one more perk level 16 before the fight, and take the Better Criticals perk. The actual dam assault is not difficult for my mini backup. Oops. So much for them. Well, the regular NCR soldiers crumble no problem, and more reinforcements are on their way, including the Enclave remnants, who I let take care of this section. Interestingly, unlike if recruited for the NCR, both Doc Henry and Judah Krieger will follow you throughout the rest of the battle. Moreno stays up top, but I assumed they all would stay up there, as Cannibal Johnson is the one who follows you with the NCR, and he's not with us. Well, once we are inside, I find some more heavy armor troopers to once more knock around. I was using my abundance of Magnum buckshot rounds now, as I think pulse slugs don't work as well on the NCR heavies, since their power armor is stripped down, right? If someone can confirm this, please let me know. Needless to say, but I eventually finished this game of Pop-Up Power Armor Soldier and continued on. I get a less tedious replay with the NCR Veteran Rangers in the lower areas, but I must have gotten lucky with crits to put them down. Unfortunately, after dealing with another heavy, I turned around to find that Judah Krager had been cut down at the knees, killed in the line of battle. Not to worry, but I still have Doc Henry in tow to enter Oliver's compound and blast my way through some more cannon fodder soldiers to reach him. Unfortunately, yet again, Doc did not make it much further either, as on the second floor with all the traps, and that one veteran ranger with the anti-meteor rifle I have a personal hatred for, the explosive traps killed the ranger, but then they also killed Doc as well. Aww. And for our final challenge, the one to end it all, it's just several more NCR Heavy Yarver Troopers. Yay!
Why won't you die?
Once more, same as before, as I make slow progress whittling them down, knocking them down over and over and over again. Both of us have defenses that outclass our opponent's weapon, but while they have numbers, I have a working brain, so of course I was going to come out on top in the end. Oh, and as for the illustrious General Oliver, the great victor of the first battle at the dam, well, to put it bluntly, I blasted him down like an elderly limp racehorse soon after those doors opened up. And with that concluded, so too does this challenge run. This was, of course, no doubt in my mind that this was possible. I just wanted to focus on a video on something that was very simple and straightforward for a change. With New Vegas, just about any weapon, even the weaker ones, can gain an edge with a variety of perks and other additions to make a powerful build. My next idea, though, oh man, if you want me to see take on an idea that has a lot of challenge to it, just you wait, this one will do. I won't say what it is, but I'll hint at it that it won't be Fallout or any Bethesda published game, but a game I really enjoy still. You'll see it when it comes out. But that comes later. For now, be sure to show your appreciation if you enjoyed this video in the form of likes, subs, and comments on other runs I should try. I will read them. With that said, I had said everything I need to, aside from a final goodbye.
We accomplished a lot together. It was fun. Take care.